and welcome to my first ever bullet journal plan with me. This is a mildly chaotic monthly January bullet journal plan. So at first, I didn't really know where I was going with my monthly spread. I was hoping to do something a little more geometric. I was also really inspired by Amanda Richley's August 80s spread. So I was searching up her account and I wanted to do it, and then I realized it really wouldn't work out for what I wanted for my January spread. So I do look up references a lot when I do my spreads, just because it's a lot easier for me to make ideas off of that. So I looked at Amanda Richley's January spread from a couple of years ago, and I realized that I really like the firework design. Now for my 2020 spreads, so I did a couple of yearly spreads, I incorporated a little bit of a gold and silver star theme throughout the entirety of my yearly spreads. So I decided to do the same sort of hanging stars theme for January, just to tie in the whole, party vibe, the whole really happy, really pretty, sparkly vibe. So here's just me filling out some fireworks, some of the stars, and then coloring them in metallic Sakura gel pens.
My heart rages around like an ocean in my head.
I actually realized that I forgot to color in the middle fireworks, so I just went back and colored in a bit of the middle fireworks. So at this point, I was kind of at a loss as to what I was going to do for the other side, because I don't really use actual monthly spreads in bullet journals because I like to use Google Calendar, and that works a lot better for me. So it took me like a couple of minutes of deliberation, some writing and erasing, before I finally decided that I was just going to do a very minimalistic, not very functional monthly on the other side of the January spread. And it was at this moment when I realized that I really screwed up the outlines. They didn't really go very well with my pencil outlines, but honestly, I think it turned out fine. It's really simple anyway, so it would be rather hard to mess it up very badly. The washi tapes were just for aesthetic. They did not belong there, and I needed my spreads to dry off, so welcome to a little bit of bullet journal flapping. How aesthetic. I started making this spread at the end of January, so I only had 1 week left to make a weekly spread on. So I did refer to one of my older spreads from my old bullet journal, and I decided that I wanted to make a theme that would fit with my current theme, but then also use the template from before. I actually really liked how it turned out, so I did measure out where I wanted the weekly to be, and I ended up searching up some quotes to put into my bullet journal because do it for the aesthetic? I mean, I tried my best. I really couldn't think of anything, so here you go. For this specific font, I erased and wrote and erased and wrote a lot because I just couldn't get the lines right. So I tried to speed it up a little bit. If you see just me like racing back and forth, that's why. Also, by this time, I think I had been bullet journaling for about 3 hours straight, so my brain was completely mushed, and I ended up searching up synonyms for the end of my quote. How lovely! I also realized at this moment that I did not know how to count anymore, so I was trying to divide the number of letters in innovation into the 2 separate pages, and that took me much longer than I probably should have. For reference, I used a Micron pigment pen, a Fudo Dainosuke, both the soft and the hard tip pens, and the back of various brush pens for like Muji and Tombow for different textures. Also, when I was coloring my innovation, I realized that I had outlined the Asian part on the wrong line. So that was fun. I almost messed up an entire spread, but regardless. In the middle of writing down the numbers for the days of the week, my Muji pen died. So, RIP to a fallen soldier. He was very good to me. I loved him very much. But I moved on with a new Muji pen almost immediately, so no harm done. Just outlining the rest of the quote with some more metallic accents. By the way, if you see a lot of eraser shavings on my desktop, I am so sorry. There was so much pencil and my erasers are pretty trash. So there's going to be a lot of eraser shavings throughout the entirety of this video. Let's ignore it for the sake of pretending that I am still very aesthetic and that this video is still extremely aesthetic. Thank you. I also realized that I put my washi tape in lopsided and therefore cut it lopsided, and therefore there was missing a tiny piece on the edge of my washi tape. So that was fun. I'm sorry if you can't see very much of the action right here. I moved the bullet journal a little bit and the camera couldn't catch it, but basically I'm just outlining what I wrote down, the January, the 26th to 31st. I wanted to originally copy this pin, but florals really didn't make sense, so I just searched up how to draw rockets. And I ended up writing something wrong when I was trying to write ready. But apparently Sakura Jelly Roll white pens are very good for whiteout. So the more you know. Watching Best Dressed to pass the time? Check. My old bullet journal? Check. The mess? No. The light was also overheating at this point. So the last spread I wanted to make before wrapping up this January plan with me was a kind of opportunities reach for the stars type of spread. I made this first in my last bullet journal, and I found that it really helped motivate me to do things that I like and made it seem a lot more worthwhile than I would otherwise think. Of course, this type of spread is very personal, so I didn't finish it in this video. I just drew some of the main hobbies, I guess you could say, that I wanted to focus on for myself that I was personally interested in. Of course, there are other things that I also ended up adding text at the end, but I thought because it's a little more personal, because I think for each person, their hobbies and what they want to try will always differ, I chose to not show you the final product and not show you what I actually end up putting on the spread.
My heart rages around like an ocean in my head. I can almost feel you walking in the distance, but I know that it's not reality. If you are echoing around inside these parallel dimensions all alone, know I'll find you in my dreams.
Gosh, so it's finally done. At this point, I think I was drawing my bullet journal for like 5 hours, so I was honestly so fried. It took me around 2 shots to try to even flip through 3 pages. So enjoy the next montage of the finished product. I'm really happy with how this spread turned out. I've never actually done a cohesive like month theme, so I thought this worked out really well. I really love the metallic accents, and I'm so glad that I have those type of metallic markers and jelly pens to be able to draw out and make the spreads look a lot cooler than they actually are. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this type of video. Comment down below if you'd like to see a full flip through of my new bullet journal. And thank you so much for watching. See you next video.